Um, so see, I mean, like, since you all have the passion towards learning cybersecurity, or any stream of or you're already knowing or aware of what cybersecurity or information security is all about, and few of them already have been in the industry for like quite some time. So it's not. I don't want to give you an introduction of what SOC is or what information security is, but predominantly every other organization would need it right now. And then I think in last 2 years we have seen India has now gone from a pretty much cash exchange from cash exchange to a digital wallet based system like a e-wallet or something like that, right? So after I think the demonetization, everything has become a digital wallet for you. You use Google Pay, where you are trying to send money. How do I say that? It used to take like at least 15-20 minutes before you send the money to add someone into your account and send it. Now it's like taking a couple of minutes, not more than that. Just take an account number and then phone number and just put it and go. So that means basically everything is digital. The moment you say everything is digital, everything is relying on a cloud or on an on-prem server or anything else. That means there is somebody who can actually break in and take the data, which predominantly means we need somebody to secure that server. And that's where SOC or information security guys folks come in, because it's their job to say that this is what the security you have to provide, and this is what the technology or attack understanding I have, and this is how I'll be able to investigate an attack and let you know when somebody is in your organization or somebody is trying to steal your data, right? So as the slide says, if you are trying to get into a cybersecurity role or become a SOC analyst, or you are trying to investigate something, or you are all like everything, this thing eats your brain, that what cybersecurity, why people are talking about cybersecurity, all what's it's all about, and how do I even start my career into that. So that's where we are trying to focus on, and that's where the target audience would be predominantly for me. So Ravi, if you can move to the next slide. Yeah, perfect. So this course or this curriculum, what we're talking about, will predominantly be or primarily be focusing upon security operations center. So I'm not sure how many of you are aware of what SOC is, but if you are aware, that's absolutely fantastic. If you are not, it's the first line of defense for any organization out there, right? If you take Microsoft, you take World Bank, you take HCL, you take Facebook, you will have a SOC team sitting there and then looking at screen after screen of alerts, looking at the distance or what different data sources of alerts, and trying to figure out what's going on with my alerts, or what's happening in my environment, and then trying to alert the particular concerned authorities or take action to fix that problem, right? So when I say SOC, it looks at it looks at everything what happens in your environment. So it looks at the website which is hosted for your company. It looks at your firewall. It looks at your antivirus. It looks at your servers, network firewalls, routers, switches, your emails which is coming and going out. Anything which can generate data and which can be looked to investigate, SOC looks at it, right? So you can say in a common, in a very generic way, say that we are the police in an organization, right? How a cop looks at suspicious activity in the crowd, SOC looks at suspicious activity among the data which the companies seeing it, or we're exchanging with the internet, or between the customers or the users or whoever that may be we are dealing with, right? So that's the initial part of SOC, what we look at. But how SOC is.
Sure.
Oh, somebody has a question?
Anand here. Sorry to disturb you.
Yeah.
I have a question here.
Absolutely.
Because my company is a product company, I don't have any SOCs in my company. So where it is exactly? Is it only for the service-based companies, or it may for product-based companies also, or it just depends?
No. So what happens is you might have outsourced your SOC. That can also happen. That you have given your SOC services or monitoring services to a third party, which is doing the job of monitoring your organization, right? So it's not always required to have an internal SOC. Like, in my previous organization, when I was working, I think we were also a product-based company. We were actually making a security-based product. And then we were looking at around 300 plus clients stock. So we were outsourced stock. So they gave us money to look at their alerts and everything else. That can also happen for you guys.
Okay, so you mean to say that they'll give to outsourcing to any third-party company?
Correct. Like, you have Deloitte, you have HCL, you have Cognizant, you have Wipro. All these guys are like outsourced company which take care of the client security.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure. Sorry. Absolutely. No problems at all. No problems at all. Questions are always welcome. That's what it makes a lively session, right? So let's move on. So the SOC is not about, it's like, it starts with we looking at the alert, but also I think, was it the slide text talks about, it's all about people, the process, and the technologies, right? So imagine, since I already gave an analogy that, you are a cop, imagine if you don't give the cop any powers, do you think he'll be able to stop a crime? You'll not, because we obviously say that, if you give a lathi to a constable, you'll not be able to go kill a terrorist, right? So you need to equip him. So at SOC, what happens is we give them the tools to look at the data, what's coming in and going out, that generates alerts, and we use our technical analysis and our logical skills and technical capabilities to look at the data and say that, okay, this is something wrong. This is what's an anomaly. So let's take an example, right? What happens is, suppose Anand logs in from Hyderabad today, and in next 1 hour, his Gmail shows a login coming from China. Do we all think that Anand is capable of driving from Chennai or Hyderabad to China within an hour? Absolutely not. Even with magical powers, probably he might be doing it, but in reality, he'll not. So that's where an anomaly lies for, right? That's where we would look for. So why sudden login is coming, right? And if you do example, like, you do a higher credit card transaction, immediately your bank calls you. That's an anomaly. These are all patterns which organizations, SOC team members look for. Some of the patterns, or one of those patterns which SOC looks like and says that, okay, this is something wrong which I have to go and figure out and understand why it's happening like that, correct? So that's what we all do. So what we do is we use our human intelligence, our processes, our technologies to identify what's wrong, and then start understanding how an attack is coming through and detect it, and then start remediating the alert, remediating the attacks. It can be a virus attack, or it can be a credit card compromise, or it can be a data compromise that somebody's stealing from your organization. Anything can happen, right? So that's what SOC is all about. They want to know what's happening. So the other thing which SOC would almost be trying to understand is, like, they, as I said, they're the first line of defense. They will be the first ones to raise any alarm which comes in, right? So when they raise an alarm, the company owners or the CIOs or CISOs of the company, or chief information security officers or chief technology officers, those guys need to know that there is a security incident, and we need to start analyzing or communicating it to concerned parties so that they take care of it. So for example, that we have GDPR or some kind of regulation where it says that if a breach is identified within the next 72 hours, you have to make it public. If you are not making it public, you are liable to pay a fine, which will be like 10% or 8% of your total gross profit. So Facebook paid, I think, $50 million or something like that for a breach which they did not notify within the next 72 hours.
Sorry, Kishore, but it depends upon the severity of the alert, right?
Yeah, again, that's what, when you identify there is a breach where you have lost data, it's a company's responsibility to identify and let the public know, right? So again, it all depends upon internal factors. When it's not a small breach, but public data is released, credit card data is stolen, companies will have to come out and tell them about that.
But this alarm will happen on the real production servers, right, Kishore?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, see, probably I'll talk about in the future slides, but yeah, it can happen it will start with the production servers, then it might go into the backend. So I'll give you examples of what we are talking about then. Okay. Absolutely. So I think, as I said, we look at an alert, we look at incidents, and we look at normal activity, we look at something like a breach or something like an attack or a virus attack, and then we'll make sure that the business is not impacting. right? Because at the end of the day, we work for the business, so it's our responsibility. It's not responsibility to make sure that we typically take care of all the alerts which comes in and handle it. Perfect. So, any questions so far?
No.
I have a question, Kishore.
Sure.
Anand here again.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will cover entire on the application side and from the network side and the database, everything, right?
Yeah, we'll try to cover the OWASP top 10 in the alert. Probably we'll go. I'll try to take you through all the OWASP top 10 which currently
Okay.
2018,
Yeah.
and then probably we can discuss. And then it will be a combination of you and me preparing for the class, and then you coming up with some sessions or talking about some discussions. So because it's a topic which both of you, the student and the instructor, have to prepare for, right? It's not just a one-way lecture session. Right,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we will cover for the web part as well.
Okay.
Okay, Ravi, can we move to the next slide? Yeah. So I think Anand, you might be aware, and then everybody else on the call might be aware that there is a huge skill gap as of now. So we have close to the slide says 1 million, but I think the number has gone to close to 2.5 or 3 million people which the security industry still require. So there is a huge skill gap where we need people to come in with security knowledge or have prior security knowledge and then start working for us, right? And that's where I as a director for a company, I have seen at least interviewed so many people, and I have identified very few who are actually I would like to hire because of the severe skill gap or the actual knowledge gap which is there in the industry right now. So it's a market, or it's a SOC or information security, something which will not go down that easily, because eventually you need to have eyes on the glass, or you need to have people on the floor to look at the alerts, remediate them, alert the concerned authorities, and then take action on that. So unless you're trying to automate everything, which is highly impossible, you'll need SOC roles to be filled up by intelligent people, right?
Oh.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So can we go to the next slide, Ravi? Yeah. So you might say that I'm absolutely new here. I don't know what SOC is, what information security is, but looks like you guys have already been working hard on it, or at least you have some basic awareness of it. That's absolutely great. That makes my job easier. But I think this is predominantly we'll speak in our common language, English, everybody understands, and probably I'll try to give examples in any other language, Telugu and Hindi if people like about it. But I think the language should not be a problem. But I think what would I want from you guys is I want you to think like a cop, be suspicious of every other activity what's happening out there, question everything, like why this is such a way. That's the only way you will be ever trying to know or learn about it. And then the more you ask questions, the more interactive it will become, and the other people on the call will also try to understand these are all the type of questions which I should be thinking about it, and they'll also kind of take advantage from these questions. So keep asking questions, be suspicious about why this is such a way, right? And then you don't need any scripting knowledge prior to that. We'll not be talking about any scripting here. But yeah, we want to learn scripting because we're part of SOC. That's something which we want to learn, but we will not be going through any scripting language as such through the course.
Sure.
And yes, we will. I'm sorry, go ahead, Anand.
Yeah, we'll do that definitely.
Absolutely. So, we will talk about. I'll try to give you as many as live examples or the real-time industry examples. I'll take you through a couple of. I'll keep giving you websites where you can gather a lot of information from, so that you can go through sites and keep track of it, and then keep listening and learning about those things. Keep reading up. That's what makes your cybersecurity knowledge or your experience worthwhile, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, Kishore, one small doubt. So is there any way of practicing labs? I mean, like labs is something like that, so we can practice in our house later-wise.
See, labs is something which I can guide you, but you'll have to
Okay.
install on into your machine and then start working on that, right? So,
Yeah.
so as you said, I think you said Splunk is what you're looking for. So Splunk
Yes.
provides you a free version which you can install on your machine, configure, and then I think probably I'll try to cover that on my machine or on some of the demos here. Hopefully demo gods allow me to show you demo for that, but I think I'll try to help you out in setting up lab and configuring data sources, so that should be pretty much easy. It's not complicated.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think what I'll do is I'll try to show you some real world Splunk experience as well for everyone who's out there from a corporate standpoint. But I think we have to keep it within ourselves. We don't have to discuss it outside because I trust you guys. Since cybersecurity says never trust anyone, but I think
Yeah. You need to be you need to be suspicious of us also.
yeah, so I just want to be cognizant of the fact that whatever I show you will be only used for training purposes, not for taking screenshots and sharing videos, right?
Sure.
Absolutely great. Perfect. Ravi, can we move to the next slide? Yeah. So this is, I think, when I'm talking about what I'm going to cover you, in the first 1 week, week one, we'll try to cover the following topics in the basics of cybersecurity and the network essentials, right? So the cyber kill chain, OSI layers, the denial of service, the virus on a machines or the infections on a machine, the protocol stack, how do you scan? Probably Anand is well aware of NDAM and Wireshark, and some of the basic networking concepts there, right? So if you say that you might, I don't know how many of you have heard cyber kill chain, but that's something which the Department of Defense, I think, Lockheed Martin has started the cyber kill chain phase. So what I think just an overview of what cyber kill chain is. Cyber kill chain it has 7 phases. From initial recon, weaponization, delivery of an attack or payload, then execution of a payload, and then consisting or clearing the tracks or ensuring that you are still getting access to the system. It's a way an attacker would approach targeting and then attacking a particular adverse or target, right? So that skill chain phases will allow us as a defenders to think like an attacker and then start going and remediating or investigating investigating on those phases, and then kind of look for signs of how an attack is going through, right? So let's say suppose
Sorry.
oh yeah, go ahead.
Anand here. So is it a cyber kill chain is a process or it's a tool? It's a methodology.
It's a methodology, or it's a phases of an attack. It's a how we have logically divided attack into phases where, let me put this way, if you are a thief, you will not go and start stealing stuff from anybody's house, but you'll do initial recce of a house, correct? Right? Everybody agrees that. So initially, attacker also will do a recce, but a virtual online recce of a particular attacker or target before attacking him. That's something called as a reconnaissance, right? Then something like, if once he understands the weak points of a target, he'll try to create a payload or an attack based on the weakness of a target. And that's where the cyber kill chain talks about of the phases an attacker would go through in attempting to attack a target, and we using those phases to defend or investigate how an attacker came through. Right? So that's the overall things which we'll try to cover in the week one. Week two will be more or less trying to understand what is SIEM, which is security incident and event management solution, which is more or less a log aggregator. This time we'll be using Splunk. So we'll look at what is Splunk, what are the components of Splunk, and then if Ravi can go to the next slide.
But Kishore, here the Splunk you will cover on the high level or it's in detail?
We'll try to go details in some topics, but rest of them will be high level. We can Splunk. I'll give you a demo of it.
Sure.
I'll probably show you what SIM technology is all about, what does it do, how it works, and then look at Splunk, install this Splunk, I think, in your own machines. We'll use some guidelines to go and install it. I'll show some interactive Splunk sessions, whatever I have on my machine there. And then, if at all, I can see if I can get credentials to the enterprise Splunk, and then I can give you a demo of that.
Sure. It's a Splunk Enterprise, right? Tushar?
Splunk has two things: enterprise security for SOC teams, and just this Splunk normal instance where search and reporting works, where you will use to create alerts, but you will not have anything enterprise security, which is a dedicated Splunk module which looks at or has pre-built security modules in it, which looks at alerts on a lot of pre-built alerts for security teams.
But so you mean to say it's not a inbuilt for Splunk, it's an add-on.
Yeah, Splunk Enterprise Security is an add-on. You'll have to buy it because it's not freely available to anyone. You'll have to buy it, and then only you can use it as an enterprise.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah. So the week 3 would look at the architecture of Splunk, the components of Splunk, the user interface, how the user interface looks like, the basic searches. How do I start searching the data in Splunk? What is the Splunk language fundamentals? How do I create alerts and dashboards? That's the week 3 of how do I use the SIM solution and navigate around that solution at all. So Splunk is a fantastic tool. If you have everybody uses Google, hopefully, right? And everybody searches Google, correct? Okay, I'll take the answer as yes. So when you search it, what do? You just type a name, and Splunk or Google provides you the answer, right? Let's say suppose you want to specifically search for anything. Let's say suppose you want to search photographs of your favorite football player. So what do? You type Messi. But if you're looking at a specific photograph of him or a video of him of a particular match, what do? What you do is you'll say that that particular year, that particular team name, and you'll say Messi. So it means you are telling Google to specifically look for something, and that's what you do at Splunk here. That's what you do at Splunk here. So what you do is you say Splunk or the SIM solution that I want to look at Anand's log for Feb 25th or 2019 for Windows event, and it provides you just the Windows event. Okay. So if you can do that, that is with a lot of background noise, I think. Absolutely, thank you very much. So that's how Splunk works. But I think I will go a detail about how Splunk works and the beauty of how you can search logs on data in Splunk. I'll show you the details. The week 4 would be towards antivirus. So we will look at go on.
Sorry. Yeah, but do you need any scripting language?
No scripting language at all. It's you can pick up Splunk in, I think, if you start installing on your machine, if you start looking at Splunk, I think it will not take more than a week for you to figure out how do you search data in your Splunk.
So what technology Splunk will run?
Splunk runs on backend technology is MongoDB. I think it uses Splunk language, querying language. It uses, so anything which you type, it quickly goes in the backend database and quickly searches the data and produces the result.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kishore.
Yeah, sure. So as I said, week 4 is more towards antivirus. We'll look at semantic endpoint protection. We'll look at how do I add a client to the instance. I'll probably share you the semantic endpoint protection software as well. I'll upload it to the Google Drive and share it with you guys so that you can start installing on your machine, add your machine onto the endpoint protection and see how the policies, tools, everything works there, right? So this we will try to cover few of the topics in detail, few of the topics as an overview, because it's good to know how protection works, but I think it's predominantly great to know how your antivirus really works, what it does, and how it actually detects a malicious software or malicious files. So that's what our focus would be. Okay, perfect. Can we go to the next slide, Ravi? Yeah. So the week 5 would be more towards understanding security device fundamentals, right? So it's like your WAFs, your network firewalls, IDS, IPS. How do I monitor the IDS, IPS logs in Splunk or whatever SIM solution we are using? And then we'll look at vulnerability management. I'll probably give you a, I don't know, demo of Qualys or something like that, or Nessus, whatever that is useful. Will you look at our email gateways, web proxies? How do I monitor those with my SIM solution? We look at DLP, data loss prevention, and then we look at security incident and incident response plan. When a real incident happens, how do I respond to it, and what are the phases of incident response plan? Right? Any questions?
No.
Okay. So the week 6 would be more towards vulnerability management. We'll talk about Nessus there. We'll talk about how vulnerability management works, how vulnerability scanning will happen in real time, and what are the other industry real-time uses of how do I use this vulnerability scan reports, and then how do I use it to hunting or to do security research in our organization.
Okay.
Yeah, and the week 7 would more towards be written test. We'll try to prepare your resumes. We'll do a mock interview. I'll try to conduct mock interviews, but I think in intermediary, I'll try to give you a questionnaire. I'll try to randomly pick a couple of 10 or 15 questions and probably give you these questions. Probably, hopefully, genuinely answer those questions. If you have any questions, you read up those things and come back and we'll discuss with those. So the whole curriculum or the whole course would be more or less interactive. I want you guys to be doing more or less the talking, asking a lot of questions. If I don't know any answer, I'll probably research and let you know. But you should post a lot of questions. So the more the questions you ask, the more it will be helpful for me and go and understand what your requirements are, and then give you those requirements apart from what the curriculum talks about.
Yeah. Kishore, again, Anand here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so application level, that's fine. But I'm looking for are you going to cover in detail in the network level also? That's it, high level.
Network level will be difficult because we cannot set up a virtual network, and it will be a very difficult challenge for to do. And we probably need a dedicated server to even do at least 5 or 6 VMs connected, do an emulation of devices. But I think I'll try to give you as many real-time examples of how the actual network and firewall and all these things work.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is normal question, Kishore. Don't mind me. Actually, do you guys really see it like that in that picture? And will you see all those screens like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
So I mean, like, I'll tell you what. World Bank, I had at World Bank, I had like 2 monitors before me, and then I had like 5 huge TVs right before me, looking at multiple dashboards. So it's about, now in my current organization, I have one dashboard which is running. I think I have got 2 55-inch TVs which is running the dashboards with running multiple values. I've got my team uses 3 24-inch monitors to look at the current data, including the laptops. I've got 2 monitors since I'm a director. I still have 2 monitors which I do real-time incidents, and when I look at the data, I do a couple of hours of research on my own to understand what logs am I getting, what type of alerts am I seeing. So I think in last 1 week, I think 2 weeks, we have found 2 different incidents of misconfiguration in my own environment. So yeah, I mean, like, some of the organization might not have, but some of the internal SOCs, you'll have to have those kind of, because I'll tell you what, if you look at my laptop alone, my office laptop, I think I'll have got 60 different Chrome windows with 30 different IE windows and 10 different Firefox windows open at any given point of time. Because all I need is to look at all these different tabs. When I don't know, whenever I want to read it, I'll keep the logs open, refresh it, look at an alert, look at a different attack which is coming through, or there is some breach which is going to happen. So I want to look at it, right? So people, I don't know how many of you have heard, but there's a nuclear power plant in India which has been hacked, or there's a virus which is found on the nuclear power plant, and that's a North Korean attack, right?
Yes.
So how do I know about it? Yeah, so we have heard about it, right? So I need to know about these things and how people are able to breach an air gap network. So nuclear power plants are not connected to internet; they are air gaps. So how did a malware end up there? That's an inquisitive question, right? So we do a lot of research and analysis on okay, how an attack is coming through. So I'll tell you an example. So in the current times, attacker will not use any tools he has to download from the internet. That days are gone. The attackers are intelligent. So you know what? If you are an attacker, if don't give you any tools, how do you break into your house, right? You'll probably
Yeah.
use a hairpin to pick a lock, you'll get in the house, right? How do you open an almara? You'll try to use your current existing screwdrivers or anything else to break it and open it, right? You have not got a torch, or you have not got a fire torch or whatever that is to break open, melt the lock, right? You will use whatever is available to you to take advantage of the situation and then get out of or steal something. So the attacker does the same thing in the current times. They use the currently available default settings on your machines, on your Windows operating systems, or executables or files on your machines to take advantage of those files' weakness and then exfiltrate data out or breach that system. Right? So I can use sticky keys to open a command prompt without even doing Control-Alt-Tab, right? Even logging out. So I can, if I have the capability, I can do a netstat or any other command to go understand what your IP range. Right?
Yeah.
Then I can use some of the Windows exes, which is netstat or which is a ping command or anything else to even do a perform a DOS on your server. I can just say ping and then I'll put the maximum value what ping can accept and then just keep a hyphen A and then keep hitting your server until your server goes down.
Yeah.
And so there are some tools. So that's what you say, that pen is mightier than sword, or don't underestimate the value of a smaller things. So attack can come from any which ways. So you might have seen in movies, I think what Allu Arjun or somebody else kills the guy with the pen, right? He uses pen to kill a guy. So pen is not a weapon, but he uses it as a weapon. So similarly, attacker will use commonly available executables on your machine to turn it against you, right?
Okay.
So you can use Notepad to download files. Have you ever thought that? You're not. So what you do is you should do it at your home right now. Take a website, go to Notepad, open Notepad and do Notepad, when you say file open, instead of the file name there, just type the URL there and just hit enter. You'll see the entire website downloading in your Notepad. So Anand, for you, since you're a pen tester, you trying to pen test an organization, you're trying to send a payload to that organization, right? So if every other thing fails, let's say suppose you use Notepad to download the file and then copy that into a different file, do a Python script to actually enumerate the data, parse the data, do your enumeration. Absolutely brilliant. People do that, more or less commonly. So people can use that. So suppose you as a pen tester, you cannot go to a website. How do you do it? You use Google Translate to go to a blocked website.
Yeah.
Correct? Have you ever thought that you can actually go to a blog site? If suppose somebody says that there's a porn site which is blocked on your organization, you can still go through it. You laugh. How? I'll challenge you that still you can go and access it. There are some things on the internet which is called a Wayback Machines, which can allow you access to a website which is posted like same version of the website 10 years ago or 15 years ago or like 3 years ago. So though you are trying to access a blog website, this snapshot of a website can still be accessed. You can still get data. So there are ways an attacker will come in and go, which you have not been aware of, which I'll probably try to explain you as we go forward.
Okay. So on day-to-day life activities, so you'll use Splunk, right?
Yeah.
So for example, if any known threat means that will alert an alarm.
Yeah, so your endpoint system should be alerting you for a known threat, right? So that's something which is by default should be made up.
Yeah. My question is, what if will not, might be for known threats, Splunk will have any signatures, might be. For what if get any unknown threats, like say anomaly?
Yeah. So what happens in an anomaly is, you have to, that's what, you have to be well aware of how an attack happens. How an attacker can come in. So thereby, I think in the industry, what people use is there is a framework called MITRE-ATT&CK framework, which talks about each phase. There are 11 phases in a MITRE-ATT&CK framework, including from initial access to persistence to privilege escalation to execution to discovery after you have compromised the machine. So there are different phases and different ways an attacker will actually compromise a machine, and that framework will allow you to start writing rules which connect different points between different data sources like firewall, antivirus, Windows. You write a rule to look at all these three data sources to say that if anything is happening in common and among this machine, raise an alert. And then you have tools like Carbon Black, Sentinel-1, Microsoft Defender, Semantics, Advanced Threat Protection, all these tools which are based on anomaly, which is non-threat, which looks like suspicious, but are not a known attack, which might be an attack, but not a genuine attack. So they raise an alarm. It becomes SOC's responsibility to go and investigate, and then see what happens there. Then you'll use Splunk to investigate those logs and figure out what happens. Right? Like example that what we found out there is some of my machines are going to a broadcast IP address, which is a misconfiguration, right? It shouldn't happen. So we searched it. We searched it. What type of traffic am I seeing? What's the top talker in my firewall, or what's the highest number of virus infections from a user's machine? Which user is that? Which machine is that? Or which user is trying to go to blocked websites, and why is he going there? So those are some of the anomalies which we will have to look for and then figure out what's happening. So that's what we call as hunting. But you have to look at the anomalies, but you'll also have teams doing hunting. We cut for those anomalies in our own logs and then come up and say that, okay, we found something. This is something attack which every other control missed out. And then we start submitting it to the proper vendors to have detection for it.
Okay, so anomaly will need to be identified based on based on my experience.
Yeah, you have to have experience to identify that. There are some common anomalies which you can figure out, but there are some uncommon anomalies where, like, ATP actors, which are threat actors, which are much more like, the North Koreans are super proficient in creating malware. Your NSA is super proficient in creating rats, which nobody ever knows about. Even Microsoft is not aware of it, right? So you will come up with this type of tools. I'll show you the attack framework. The framework will talk a lot about what do you see, how do you see, what are the common factors which attack can come in, which you have never thought about, which you should look for. So yeah, some of the things.
Do you have any rules on that, Kishore? Like admin, user, something like that? Any rule based?
See, it's a generic understanding. Even if you are a administrator, if you're a developer, if you're a SOC analyst, whoever that is, you have to have an understanding of these. Even to say that, if you're developing an application, you have to protect your application from a SQL injection attack, right?
Yeah.
So that's something basic. You have to be aware of it. You cannot say that I am a developer. I don't have to know about what SQL injection is. Then you're not a great developer. You need to be aware that there is an attack out there which exploits this SQL or application which you're writing about. So you have to have that awareness. I think security knowledge is not permitted to any role. It's a common thing which everybody should know about, right? I think when ransomware or WannaCry happened, I think the entire country was talking about ransomware or WannaCry. Even my mom forwarded me a text message about WannaCry. She's not a security professional, but when things happen at a large scale, it becomes a thing like you have to talk to them about what an attack is, right? So you have to talk to your parents about what to talk about when somebody is asking your PIN information or login information, or somebody says that your machine is compromised. I'll take control of your machine. You have to tell them, right? So you have to give them small clues to how do I self-defend themselves. So the more advanced things, security professional, IT professional should be aware of it if they want to. But in general, the knowledge is not limited to any roles, if you ask.
Yeah, but do you have any specific roles even on SOC analyst also, Kishore?
Yes. So what happens in a SOC roles would be, so you have a level 1, level 2, level 3 based on the team size. Then you have a manager, then you have a director, then you have a CISO, then you have the CISO directly reports to the CEO or whoever it is, and then everybody reports to each other, and then that's how the hierarchy works. That's again for SOC. Then for pen testing, I think you'll have a initial pen tester. You have a internal pen tester or external pen tester.
We have red team and blue team, right?
Yeah, red team. So blue team is a SOC, red team is a pen tester.
Yeah.
So there are multiple roles. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, SOC analyst is nothing but a blue team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes SOC blue team needs to know how red team works. right?
Yeah.
You can only catch a thief by thinking like a thief, but not thinking like a police, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have seen a movie called Catch Me If You Can. That you saw the DiCaprio was a thief, but he was hired as a FBI's the fake currency specialist. That's how you have to work. So this is what it is. Go and look for a podcast called Darknet Diaries. I repeat, Darknet Diaries. That's a podcast. Go look for that podcast and start listening to that podcast. So these guys, I think the interviewer actually interviews a lot of real-time attackers or real-time probably bad guys who have done real-time attacks and then share their experiences, how they have done it. So that something gives you a perspective about what an attacker really thinks about, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ravi, can we move to the next slide? Yeah. So we'll try to do a 6 weeks, 30 to 40 hours, probably weekends. We'll see how the availability goes through. We'll have weekly assessments. I'll try to help you with your mock interviews, resumes, and then see, how you kind of do more of a hands-on assessment, more hands-on experience.
Okay.
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 Awesome. Next slide, Ravi. Perfect. So